So how does a gel work? Remember we said earlier about white light being made up essentially of 3 equal parts of red, green, and blue. So for the purposes of these next few slides, let's assume that everything we're talking about is 100% perfect. We're talking about perfect red, perfect green, perfect blue. Those of us who are working in theaters know that that's not necessarily possible. You know, that red gel is not necessarily always going to be perfectly red. There's always going to be a little bit of variation to it. But for the purposes of our demo, we'll assume that everything is perfect. So if we take our white light, our red, green, and blue, we place that red gel in front of it, what's happening is the red gel is allowing the red wavelengths of light to pass through it, and it's absorbing the blue and the green. It's basically dissipating them as heat. So it's allowing red to come through, absorbing blue and green. Same thing happens with a blue gel, but instead of allowing the red to come through, it's allowing the blue to come through. It's absorbing the red, it's absorbing the green. So if you've ever looked at your swatch books before, on the back of the, or on the every Roscoe page, on every Lee page, there's a little diagram there that basically shows you, if you look at this on the left side of the screen here, it shows you how much of each wavelength of light it's letting through. So if we look kind of here in our blue, our green, and our red areas, you can see that this is Cal Color 90 pink. So it's pretty magenta color. It's allowing a whole lot of this red through and a whole lot of this bluish, the lower here, these wavelengths through. So again, if we look at this magenta gel, it's allowing red, it's allowing blue. And by the gel manufacturer varying how much red or how much blue they're allowing through this filter, this gel, that's how we get all of the different colors of gel that we have. So what would happen then if we took two pieces of gel? Let's say we really wanted to have a cyan light, but we only had one light left in our plot. What would happen if we took a blue gel and a green gel and we put those into the same gel frame, or put 2 gel frames into the same light with those 2 colors? The first thing you think of is, oh, of course it's going to create cyan, right? But it actually won't. What it's going to do is it's going to completely kill the output of your light. You're going to have no light coming out of it once you put these 2 gels in them. So let's look at this linearly for a second here. In this example, our white light is hitting this blue gel. The blue gel is allowing blue to pass through, and it's absorbing the red and the green. So we've already established that with the green gel, it's allowing green to pass through, but it's subtracting out the blue and the red. So now if I put this green gel here in front of my blue, I've got no green wavelengths to allow it to pass through. All I have left over is blue. And so what it's going to do is it's going to subtract out all of that blue and leave me with no light. So try this whenever you can get back to a theater, or even if you have 2 little mag lights at home and you have, or excuse me, 1 mag light at home and you've got 2 swatch books, put those 2 pieces of gel together, put them over there, and you're going to see, if you're using the primary colors of the primary gels, that most of your light is going to be gone. Again, you're going to get a little bit of an output through it in the demo, but that's just because those gels are not 100% perfect. But if they were perfect, your light is basically gone. So if you've ever tried to create a cyan or create any other color by mixing 2 gels in the same frame, this is why it didn't work for you. Because if you can kind of look at this as almost like a math equation, right? We're looking at it from left to right. You're subtracting out things as you go through. So how do we create cyan using 2 gels in an additive mixing system? Well, again, if we're doing it as an additive system, the only way to do that is to use 2 separate lights. So here's an example of that, of a green light and a blue light mixing together on that person to form that cyan in the center. So you might be sitting here thinking, wait. I have a bunch of LED fixtures at my theater and I'm able to make them cyan without having to have multiple light sources, right? What's actually happening though is you actually have multiple light sources within that single light. So most LEDs look something like this, right? You've got a whole bunch of diodes in them, and those are all emitting different colors of light out of the front of the fixture. Some fixtures do a better job of mixing those colors together before they come out. We call that homogenizing the fixture, but other ones don't. So what you're looking at right now is a Desire D40 by ETC. You get some absolutely beautiful color coming out of it, but there are some trade-offs in it. Here's a picture of that same D40 as it shot through a lift. You can see the lift is on the floor here, and you can see it shooting through the grating of that lift, and it created all kinds of separation problems there, right? So when we're dealing with our LEDs in our theater, you might be having one fixture, but that fixture itself has multiple light sources inside of it. So that fixture is still working using additive mixing. It's still, excuse me, at the very least has a red, has a green, and has a blue diode inside of it, just like your cyc lights did. And they're mixing together inside of that light and coming out of it. Again, some fixtures do a better job of homogenizing that beam than others do.